at the minimum. I would definitely suggest that. After their 3-game winning streak was snapped on Monday night, the Pittsburgh Pirates were looking to start a new streak against the Philadelphia Phillies on Tuesday night. After a tough extra innings loss on Monday night, the Pittsburgh Pirates bounced back on Tuesday night with a 5-4 victory over the Philadelphia Phillies. The last 6.5 weeks have been a struggle for the Pirates, but they have now won 3 of the last 4 games, which has been fun to watch. With the Pirates, with the win, the Pirates are now 14-32 since the All-Star break. Their overall record now sits at 58-77 on the season. 58-77, my bad. Facing struggling veteran Drew Smyly, it did not take the Pirate offense long to grab a lead. Kevin Newman tripled to start the game. This was followed by a 2-run blast to left field off the bat of Brian Reynolds. The 14th home run of the season by Reynolds gave the Pirates a 2-0 lead. Steven Brault started for the Pirates and was looking to continue his recent good work since joining the rotation permanently in late May. Brault has been the team's best starting pitcher. While he was not as good as he has been on Tuesday night, he pitched well enough to give his team a chance to win. Brault allowed a tough break run in the second inning when Adam Hazley hit a 2-strike pitch through an open hole on the left side of the infield. In the third inning, the Phillies scored another run to tie the game at 2. This run, however, came after Gene Segura drew a 2-out walk. During Segura's at-bat, both ball 3 and ball 4 should have been called strikes. The Phillies pushed another run across the plate against Brault in the 4th before Brault posted a 0 in the 5th inning. Brault pitched 5 innings on Tuesday night, allowing 3 runs on 8 hits, a walk. He hit a batter, and just 1 strikeout. Tuesday night's performance was not the best form of Brault, nor was it as strong as he has been pitching. However, he pitched well enough to give his team an opportunity to win the game. Ultimately, that's what you are looking for from a back end of the rotation starting pitcher. With the Pirates trailing 3-2 in the top of the 6th inning, Colin Moran hit a 2-run home run off of Smyly. The 13th home run of the season from Moran gave the Pirates a 4-3 lead and ended Smyly's night. In 5 2/3 innings of work, Smyly allowed 4 runs on 9 hits, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. The tie would not last long as Kyle Crick allowed a 2-out pinch hit home run to veteran Logan Morrison in the bottom half of the 6th inning. This home run from Morrison tied the game and continued Crick's season-long struggles. Crick now has a 4.75 ERA, 5.73 FIP, and is now an alarming 1.71 home runs per 9 this season. Kieran Keller took the ball in the 7th and allowed a leadoff double to JT Realmuto. After a flyout, Realmuto was on third base with just 1 out. To Keller's credit, he pitched out of the jam he created, inducing a groundout and a pop-out. Keller's strong work sent the game to the 8th inning, still tied at 4. In the bottom of the 8th inning, the Phillies got their second leadoff double in as many innings. This one came against Francisco Liriano. After Liriano recorded a pop-out and a comebacker to the mound, he was lifted for Felipe Vasquez. Vasquez would do his thing and strike out Scott Kingery to end the inning. Phillies closer Hector Neris issued back-to-back walks to Adam Frazier and Melky Cabrera with 1 out in the top of the 9th inning. Newman then hit what appeared to be an inning-ending 4-6-3 double play ball. However, an error by Philadelphia first baseman Rhys Hoskins not only cost them the double play, but also allowed Frazier to score. The hustling play by Frazier gave the Pirates a 5-4 lead. After the Pirates took the lead, Vasquez returned to the mound for the bottom of the 9th. Vasquez retired the side in order, which included striking out Bryce Harper with a 101-mile-per-hour fastball to end the game. The third and final game of the series was on Thursday night. Yes, it was at 6:05, not 7:05. Mitch Keller made his 7th career MLB start. Keller came off the best start of his career, but did not build upon that. As for the Phillies, they sent righty Vince Velasquez to the mound. He pitched well as the Phillies won the series and the season series, winning the season series 4-2, and obviously the series 2-1. So, the game on Tuesday night, it was, a good one, and, some things that we can point out and we can take away some things from. And, first of all, I just want to say the end of that game was maybe one of the more entertaining battles you'll ever see between Felipe Vasquez and Bryce Harper, former teammates on the Nationals when it was Felipe Rivero. However, Vasquez, you could tell he wanted to strike out Harper. He was rearing back and he was firing, and he finally got Harper on a nasty pitch to end the game, and it was very subtle, but you could see Harper, give him a little head nod. Vasquez nodded back. It was a nice show of sportsmanship, respect for each other. Two of the best in all of baseball, and with a one-run lead, you didn't feel safe. Felipe was pitching, but you never feel safe with a one-run lead and Bryce Harper coming up to bat. You just don't. But with Felipe on the mound, your odds are pretty good, and he shut it down. He's been pitching very well as of late. His fastball has been electric, and he potentially could still be traded this offseason depending on what direction the Pirates are looking to go in. But really, this stretch of recent winning is starting to get me to believe again that, and I've believed this whole time, that this team has too much talent to be where they're at. They do. And if you let this group run it again, add a couple pieces we'll talk about here in a minute, what I think they should add in the offseason, but you let this group go out there and run it back in 2020, we saw that halfway through the season, 99 games through the season, they were 2.5 games out of first place in the division. Yes, they were a game under 500, but 2.5 out. They were very close at the All-Star break, and obviously, things have changed since then. Dropping 14 games in the standings, and that will happen in a 14-32 stretch. And the second half is obviously not gone as anybody has wanted to gone, but I believe, if we overreact to this, and I too am a victim, and we all are. We're prisoners of the moment. We make rash decisions. We talk on here, what we're feeling in our gut, and the recency bias that we have. And the recency bias that I have is this team is playing 6-2 in their last 8 games, and we all see that the talent is there. The talent is real, and it's there to be a good baseball team. It is there. And Neil Huntington's going to have an interesting decision to make this offseason when it comes down to, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to add pieces and try to get this group ready to compete in 2020? Or are we going to hit the reset button and tear it down and get ready to compete years ahead in the future? It's an interesting decision, and it's a decision that we're going to talk about at length here on Bucko Booth. And again, there are a lot of ifs that play into 2020. If this can happen, if that can happen. We're going to bank on those ifs happening, or are they going to go down the path of, okay, we think there's a lot of ifs to overcome, so we're going to trade some pieces, get some big league ready prospects, and do a little bit of a retool. Because again, this team has the talent to be a very good baseball team, and we've talked about it. And again, it is surprising and it's puzzling. We've tried to break down why the struggles that they've been having have occurred. And it's tough to really pinpoint it on anything. And we've talked in the past. We've called for Clint Hurdle's job. We've called for Neil Huntington's job, Steerage's job. And, I believe they should all not be back in 2020. But at the same token, again, this team's been playing much better baseball as of late. I've been much happier as of late. I don't know if you can tell on this show that the exuberance is back in my voice, in my attitude. I'm feeling good. I am. And as we enter into the last month of the season, this team only had one winning month. Depends what they do in September, but that was May when they were 15-14, and that was Josh Bell's freaking ridiculous month that he had. It would be nice to see the Pirates have a winning month in September. They played very well in September last year. It would be nice to see them, enter into 2020 on a high note, have a winning September, see Mitch Keller, dominate in September. That's really what I want to see. I want to see Trevor Williams continue his success. I want to see Brian Reynolds win a batting title. I want to see Josh Bell lead the league in RBIs and doubles. I want to see Marte, maybe get to 300. Maybe even push to a 30-30 season. I want to see, Colin Moran maybe push up to 300. I want to see Adam Frazier continue to do well. I want to see Cole Tucker up here, Key Brian Hayes, Will Craig, Kevin Kramer. There's a lot of stuff to see in September, and if we can have a winning month and continue our recent hot stretch into this month of September, I'm going to be happy and excited for 2020. I will. And obviously there's going to be a lot to talk about over the course of the next month and heading into the offseason. But, it's going to be a lot to talk about. It's going to be exciting. But we will be here to break it all down for you as we get ready to talk about some offseason stuff right now. The Pittsburgh Pirates' biggest hole in the lineup might be the catcher, which has also hurt them in defense as well. Rumor is that the team will try to improve this position. At the beginning of the 2019 season, it appeared that the Pittsburgh Pirates had somewhat of a strength at the catching position. The team had veteran Francisco Cervelli, who's always done a solid job both behind and at the plate. Elias Diaz had a breakout 2018 campaign, which led to some fans wondering if they would have almost an even split for playing time in 2019. Meanwhile, the team had Jacob Stallings, who filled in adequately when needed in 2018 in AAA. The Pittsburgh Pirates' catching position quickly went from one of the best tandems in the National League in 2018 to one of the worst situations in the National League in 2019. Cervelli only played in 34 games this year due to consistent injury, concussion issues. It got to the point where the Pittsburgh Pirates were not sure if or when he would return to the field. The team ended up releasing Cervelli last week, and he's now in a playoff race with the Atlanta Braves. In his absence, Elias Diaz had an opportunity to take over as the team's catcher. The potential was there with Diaz after a strong 2018 season. He showed decent power and a very strong throwing arm. However, he has regressed big time statistically and has had many mistakes in the field throughout the year. He's only batting .247 with a .302 on base percentage. Furthermore, his power has all but disappeared as he only has one home run this year in 84 games after hitting 10 in 82 games last season. Because of Diaz's struggles at the plate and mistakes in the field, catcher Jacob Stallings has gotten a chance to play. Stallings has been far more consistent than Diaz and has also seemed to handle the pitchers better as well. While Stallings will never be a superstar, he has very much cemented himself in for a roster spot next year, especially being he would have to clear waivers. Apparently, the Pittsburgh Pirates are well aware of this gaping hole and will look to improve the position this offseason. General Manager Neil Huntington told Rob Biertempfel they plan on actually prioritizing the position. Here is a quote from their recent interview, which was on The Athletic. Quote, "Catching is the hardest position to come by," adding, "We'll take a look at what's available in a trade in the free agent markets this offseason, and hopefully we'll continue to push the guys who are here forward," end quote. They may have already tried earlier this year. One name that kept coming up in the Felipe Vasquez to the Dodgers rumors was top catching prospect Keibert Ruiz. So maybe that is something that gets revisited this offseason. Or they could look to the free agent market on other veterans who might be on the trade block. Free agent-wise, the top catcher is Yasmani Grandal, who will be out of the Bucs price range. Lower-tier players that could be on the Pittsburgh Pirates list are Mike Zunino, a non-tender candidate, Travis d'Arnaud, and Jason Castro. If this is the case, then Elias Diaz could very well be on a different team come next year. The team obviously likes Stallings more at this point, and they will not carry three catchers. With such a need for catching across the lead, the team will likely be able to find a willing taker for Diaz. And, at this point, I think it is time to move on from Elias Diaz, completely trade him this offseason, and look to either acquire a catcher via a trade, again, revisiting the Felipe Vasquez, Keibert Ruiz situation, or, Grandal is going to be out of our price range, but we could look for a guy like Mike Zunino, could be non-tendered, but more realistically, Travis d'Arnaud or Jason Castro. Now, the question is between d'Arnaud and Castro, who are the two most realistic candidates, I believe, to be the Pirates, starting catcher next year. Which one do you like out of the two more? Between d'Arnaud and Castro. And we'll have plenty of time to discuss this as the offseason goes along and more rumors are substantiated. But Neil Huntington made it very clear that, there's a gaping hole in the catching position that the Pirates have. Like, Diaz has just not been the same as he was last year, and it's clear that they like Stallings much more at this point. Stallings is getting the majority of the playing time. And we look at, who has caught the most innings this season, and as of late, it's definitely been Stallings. Like, the team clearly likes him, and he's never going to be a superstar. And I believe he's probably best served as a backup catcher. And, if they go out and they get a Castro or they get a d'Arnaud, it'll be interesting to see if they go and they start Stallings or they start, d'Arnaud or Castro. And, I think they would start a Travis d'Arnaud or a Jason Castro over Stallings. But Stallings will be there if they struggle to, cement them as the starting catcher. So we look at who's caught the most innings, and Diaz has caught 612 innings this season, Stallings 333 2/3, and Cervelli 252 1/3 innings. So